Hi, lovelies. I'll be having a good morning, noon, or night. It's your girl. Package out with a brand new video. I love doing that for no reason, absolutely at all. But if y'all read the title, like I'm about to turn 24. It is April the 8th at 9:52. So y'all know I'm actually 23 when I'm saying this before I turn 24. But I wanted to do a 24 things that I wish I knew, but that like I don't know how I want to describe this. Like I don't want to say if it's 24 things that I wish I knew before 2024, or like might want to say like turning 24 is ghetto and here's why. Like I feel like I'm saying like that. Because I feel like the idea of growing older is such taboo nowadays. I feel like it's giving auntie. Like, y'all do know that we all have to get older, right? You do know that you will eventually become the aunties that you are telling us that we are. You know what I'm saying? So it is very interesting to me, like the demographic and maybe the era of which I'm starting to get to that 30-year-old age. Because like 30 really ain't. Like, hear me out, y'all. Hear me out.
Ha! Old? What was I thinking? I ain't old, huh?
Don't worry, Pops. We're almost across the street.
30 really ain't old. Like, it's not old at all. Like, it's pretty much getting your life together past the... And I'm not gonna say, like, 30 is getting your life together, but I feel like you have some more security in terms of figuring out what you originally thought you wanted to do, to maybe know you have a little bit more solidification. If you don't, that's cool too. Like your entire life is figuring out what you want to do with your life, and that's the whole purpose. But I've kind of wrote a couple of things, and I'm kind of going to, I've like typed a few things out, and I kind of want to like go into them. I have some funny ones and I have some serious ones because of course I feel like this video is very open and honest. These are things that I wish that I was more aware of before getting a certain age, before turning 24, before doing etc, etc. And I did one of these when I turned 23, but I feel like it wasn't as structured. And I feel like me, because I was kind of just spitting out my head. Low key, I'm also boiling some hot dogs in the background. So it might jump. It might jump. It might jump. Okay. So number one is your back will really start hurting for no reason. I know that people are like, oh, like, I'm pretty low-key, this starts when you turn 21 and you start paying bills and having personal responsibilities, and maybe you started at 18, but it really solidifies at 21, because a lot of us are like coming from living with our parents, and then especially me and my personal circumstances, I'm coming from living with my parents. Even when I was in college, I was commuting, so I was still going back home. But now that I don't have the option of a school to where it's like in the backyard, or I can commute 45 minutes, which sounds like a lot for some people, but baby, 45 minutes in the country really ain't that bad compared to 45 minutes in the city. Night and day difference, truly. And as someone who's lived in both, who has lived in both. But stretching as you get older, and especially for my taller people, or like in general, but especially taller people, because you do have more back problems. It is just scientifically proven. I'm not on the taller demographic. My sister is, so I be watching it. And also my granny is like 5'11", and my great uncles are like 6 foot and above. So like they've mentioned the back problems, and they're within their upper ages, because we not gonna age shame. We're not doing that over here. But the idea that your back, like, it is so important as you get older to stretch. Like when I sleep or anything, it's like certain hands or certain stuff, like like your muscles or stuff will go to sleep, or your body will go to sleep. I feel like that happens more when I do not stretch. Seriously, like I feel like that doesn't really, like, it's like your body's like, oh, you sitting on your butt all day? We can tell. And it's like you get muscle spasms, or when you actually want to do something, you cannot, like, you're struggling to do it because you're not used to doing it. So like exercise, stretching are so important that if you weren't doing it back then, you really start doing it now. I will say during this time period, or during this era of your 20s, young 20s, is that your metabolism is still about the same. If your metabolism was already fast, it's still probably going to be relatively fast. If it's not, then it's probably still not. Like, it'll slow down as you get a little bit older, but it's still about the same. because for the most part, I feel like I have a pretty decent, like on the faster side of metabolisms, and it is very hard for me to try to gain weight, which I'm in the process of trying to do. And I really can't say that I experienced my freshman 15, which if you are not aware of what a freshman 15 is, it's when you go to college and you're used to being with your parents, and then you all of a sudden go and be on your own. So you have a lot more freedom, a lot more demographic to choose from. Demographic, like what? You have a lot more options and choices essentially to make, because you're now experiencing real adulthood, because you don't have your parents in the back of your ear or whatever, or in front of you perhaps, to make those decisions for you. Like eventually you of course can get the repercussions of your actions, but they're not so much in front of you to where that you are they're able to make a decision for you. So a lot of people typically do get a little bigger, a little chunkier, a little chubbier, because they're, typically eating more with the choices that they have. I never experienced that, because number two, nobody actually ever has their life figured out. I can tell you right now, as somebody who has took so many semesters off in school, finishing up school, still in the same bachelor's degree, should have graduated 2 years ago, I do not care. Like, do what's best for you. If that's not what was meant for you, then that's not what's meant to you. Because I could be graduated, be struggling in a degree that I did not want to do, and at the end of the day, I do believe in a higher power. And for me, if that path was not meant to be, it was shown that it wasn't meant for me, and I moved on. I switched from that. But if it's not as clear cut, oh, you can't do it, or you're struggling to do it, which is why you can't get farther. You struggling does not mean that you can't do it. But in my case, I was struggling so much. Okay, it hit me to a cross path of like, is this really what I want to do, or what's another alternative? Which I think that is one thing. This is like my number 3, but it's like, because I'm in college, this is what I consider my number 3. Always have a backup plan. Like, I know, and it doesn't necessarily have to be in college, but I feel like it's very important in your life to always have a backup plan, regardless of whatever you decide to do. Like, whether you have a backup plan of, like, yes, you love your job, but there's some things in your job that you may be diminishing, and it may get a little bigger that you haven't actually let it bubble. Or for example, if your main degree, or if you want to be a doctor, okay, there's different options of you doing what doctors do without being a quote unquote doctor, because the doctor has a lot of med school and this and that, and like you have a lot of stuff on your plate depending on which path that you go to. But remember that there are different options that can still give you a similar result. For me, in my case, I like computers. I like doing stuff with computers. I like technology. That's my thing. Well, I'm not more so I'm hands-on, but I'm not hands-on in a hardware type of sense. I'm more, now that I've gotten older, I've learned that I'm more hands-on in a software sort of sense. So I understand that I do like communicating with people, but I still don't like it enough to, okay, maybe I don't want to do service. Maybe I don't want to do retails. Making sure that you always use your resources to figure out what you need to do. Like, for real. Which kind of goes into number 4. You do not need to rush your timeline. And this is especially real for my college kids. I understand that you want to get everything done in that 4 years. Baby, you do not know what can happen to you in 4 years, let alone 1 year. You don't know. 365 days, your life changes from today to tomorrow. Literally, my hair straight this day, my hair color tomorrow. It really doesn't, like, that's how quick things change. Like, you do not know the position that you could be in, because, like I said, I would constantly remind y'all that I do believe in some higher power, because that does go into effects of how I think, which it may be, if for that, my battery finna die, and let me get my food. But I'm on number 4, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I had to put the hot dogs in the water because it was finally boiling, but more so more so for number 4 is you don't need to rush your timeline. There will be so many people that are doing so many different things for you, but if that was meant for your path, you would be doing it. And if you aren't doing it, then it's more so of a question of asking yourself why you are not in that position, of why you can't be in that position. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you're not doing, you can eventually do it because you have the mindset to do it, because that's now in your path. But for example, you may have not been thinking about that because you had XYZ, which is why a lot of times when it comes to not rushing your timeline, you need to make sure to give yourself grace. I feel like those go hand in hand, because it's one of those things, okay, well, I don't have $10,000. Okay, why didn't you have $10,000? Okay, maybe you didn't have $10,000 because every check you was giving your folks money. Why you didn't have $10,000? Because maybe because you was giving your folks a decent amount of your check that you weren't able to actually save money for yourself, so you kept borrowing from credit cards and loans, and it just started eating you. Like, there's different circumstances or like reasonings for why your timeline does not match somebody else's. You have so many more factors that go into play that I feel like, as someone especially who doesn't necessarily give themselves grace, that doesn't always play into a factor or consider all factors are really why I was in that position. Okay, you was depressed, but you didn't realize how that much depression was surely making an impact on your life, like for real. Number 5, friendship relationships are still messy. Like, dating from friends and missing in your circles, and dating, like going from friends to relationships, is still messy. It doesn't matter what age you get. It's just a matter of your maturity. I know that's gonna hurt to hear, like, but I ain't gonna say that I really truly do not try to do friendship to relationships, but it's becoming more scarce and scarce, because I just do not like, because for me personally, hear me out, me personally, I just want to put that PSA, me personally, I hold my friends to a higher value than my relationships, because in life, when you think about it, your friends will always be there for you, not like the people that I choose, because I'm very picky as it is with my relationships and my friends, but especially my friendships, because these are people who I'm enveloping into my life to show my family. Like, I'm more willing to show my friends, my family and stuff, or talk about them per se with my family, because these are people that I'm hoping to keep around. Like, even if we're not cool, my folks are going to know who you are, because I want my folks to know who you are, not because they have to know you who are. Does that make sense? So, like, for me, in that regard, my friendships are considered a higher regard than my relationships, only because I feel like it's a lot more easier for me to kind of fall fast, because I feel like, to an extent, all relationships do hold same value, same quality. Like, you know, you want to find, and they are very similar. Like, you want to find somebody who does value your time. You want to find somebody that you can trust. You want to somebody that can listen to you, somebody who is appreciative and have similar values. You don't have to be completely equal. Of course, opposites do attract in all aspects, but you do want to have a middle ground to where you can feel that you have something to relate to, and or vice versa. Like, there are a lot of similarities between all relationships, and not just when you think relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, or, you know, significant other. It's literally friendships too. Like, they all have the same regards, which is why I think for me, friendship breakups hurt way more for me, because I hold my friends to such regard that when they do backstab me, or does something to hurt my feelings, it hurts my feelings, truly. But I have learned this year, yeah, I don't know, like, I literally was doing it this year, like, I was dibbling and dabbling in it, not to put my business out. It's not that I hated it. I appreciate the relationship and what it was, but, like, looking back on it, it's like I couldn't really rant about some things that I wanted to, because, like, dang, if we sit there and say, oh, we're in a relationship, and then for me personally in a friend group, it does create strife of some sort, unintentionally. Like, it's not intentional, but it is more so of, like, you have to be mindful of who you tell and how things are operated, because I mean, they don't try to hold a grudge, but unbeknown to you, there's some type of biasness, and you don't want that to be considered. So it could be a little mushy, just a little bit. It's just a little bit. Like, the only reason why it gets better is that either you find you somebody that's very mature and y'all are able to do things, but even then, it's gonna hurt your feelings, because if y'all break up, or, you know, realize it's not gonna work, if y'all still like each other, y'all need to cut it. Y'all need to cut it. I don't know how to explain it. Y'all need to cut it. You've never done that. You need to cut it. Because all it's going to do is y'all going to play back and forth, and then it's going to turn to an entanglement. Because y'all don't know how to draw the lines and blur the lines. Because y'all, when it's good, but, like, it's what I was saying. It's kind of the same thing as, like, when it's good, and when it's not, it's not. Like, it's very similar to the fact that you are able to be cool, but it's like, okay, are y'all cool because y'all want it to work, or are y'all cool because y'all cool? You know what I'm saying? So a lot of things do get blurred. Let me go get my hot dogs. I'm hungry. I'll be back. I ain't gonna hold you. This is low-key turning into a mukbang. I don't really like to say glizzies. I say hot dog. Glizzy sounds weird. I'm not from that, you know, that genre. I don't know where glizzies, I think it originated more Upper East. Baby, I'm from the South. Hot dogs. Links. Honestly, if I had a link, I'm gonna choose a link over a hot dog any day. But they both hot dogs, but like wieners versus hot links. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And then Funyuns for the chips. Eating onions. Okay, eating onions and come from my own. How about that? Okay. Ooh, that's hot. Sorry, I heard something click and I'm like, what are we doing? Cause basically I took the pot off the stove that was actually cooking it and turned the stove off. So I'm like, girl, what you up in there doing? It should be done. But this is the number 6. Just be very mindful if you do decide to do friendships, relationships. I understand that it can be easier because you are already aware of that person, but if you've already deep into the friend group and y'all got this and the third, it just makes things a lot more complicated when things don't work out. And it's not saying that you are not thinking long term that they won't work out, but it's like being mindful of yourself for the future. I'm not saying that you can't introduce your boyfriend or your significant other to your friends, but it's more so being like cordial with somebody versus being cool with somebody. Like, I'm aware of them versus they my homies. So number 7, I feel like this is self-explanatory, and I'm kind of gonna run through these. Not all of them is gonna be like over the top because the video is gonna be under 30 minutes because I do have 24. Social media is not real life. Like, I feel like that's kind of understood, but okay, you literally edit it and create this depiction how you want it. Testing. Oh, I actually caught when my mic died. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I'm getting better at this. But yeah, I feel like it's just pretty self-explanatory. A lot of people, especially with the use of AI and all that stuff, there's no reason why you can't, switch it up. Like, if that's how you want to portray yourself, that's how you want to portray yourself. And if you portray yourself different than how you are in person, that's up to you and yours to discuss. And if they call you out on it because it's a 90-day difference, or you're faking things, then I mean, you can't really blame nobody for yourself. At the end of the day, just be you for you, and that will carry you the farthest. So number 8 is, a lot of people ain't got no brain cells nowadays. Like, I know, like, y'all finna eat me up for this one, but common sense is really not that common. And I feel more so because of AI, these folks do not know how to think for themselves. They do not know how to explain for themselves. Like, they do not have any social awareness. They do not have any socialness. They don't, like, and I'm not just saying Gen Z. I am just saying in general, there is a lack of education, especially in the Texas education system, born and raised. There is a lack. And with the innovation, because technically AI is a glorified search engine, so I mean it is. With the innovation of AI, it has done no good for us. It has done, I mean, there's positives to using AI, but because there is no regulations and no rules and guidelines to limit what can and cannot be done, it has done a lot more harm for us than it has done positivity. Personally, the amount of water that AI, and if y'all think I'm talking on my butt, look it up. Like people don't know how to look up anything. Like, you'll be like, okay, AI, da da da. Even for Google, before Google, like, oh, y'all had Google. You still had to look up your answer to make sure it was factual. Nobody knows how to source evidence and prove things. Like, what happened? What happened to journalism? Like, what happened to searching, looking for the answer yourself? Like, y'all trust the first answer that y'all see, and I think that's the problem. Do y'all trust the first person who tells y'all, oh yeah, my mic died, so we're just gonna switch it to my mic so I don't have to be overweight. But it's like, do y'all trust the first person that y'all see? If somebody said, oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with it, y'all gonna ask more than one people. Like, y'all not gonna just ask the one person and just try. You're gonna ask more than one person to make sure that it's secure. That's like saying, like, an example visually. Okay, if somebody if the bridge was broke and nobody's used it all day, y'all gonna trust that one person to walk over the bridge and there's no other way to get it. You're gonna ask multiple people to make sure that they walked over the bridge to make sure that you're secure. Same concept. Like, if they went over your head, then I maybe just think it's funny, right? But it makes sense to me. Number 9. Your early 20s are for experimenting. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like the reason why, and it goes hand in hand with you don't need to rush your timeline, because your personality is not like everybody in the other personality. I always tell my friends, if you don't be you, nobody else will, because there's nobody else out there like you. Like, literally, there could be somebody who does a lot of the same traits, and which is why even for YouTube, there's so many YouTube channels that do the exact same thing, but somebody likes that person particularly more because of their personality, because of their humor, because maybe they have a similar lifestyle, maybe their feature. There's so many reasons why you can watch this person versus the other, but it differs on that person. So that's really what creates the viewership. So if you want to try dye your hair, your hair will grow, hopefully. There's wigs. There's so many alternatives to trying different things, while not necessarily spending your bank, overdoing it, putting you in terrible circumstances. Like, be mindful, be thoughtful of your circumstances and your position without putting you in a hole or in some type of disadvantage. But don't be afraid to step outside your box based off of what you know or what you think you know, truly. Number 10. You start caring about your credit score. Hear me out. Especially when you start getting an apartment and hold on, this is crooked. When you start getting an apartment and all that good stuff, and I'm not saying that you didn't start caring about it when you was a kid and when you was younger, but like, it really means something to you now, especially when you was school, you got loans and stuff like that. You start getting all them random credit Capital Ones. You can apply for this credit card. You would earn this, a third. You will be pre-approved. You are pre-approved for this. I don't want to be pre-approved for nothing. I'm poor and broke. Don't give me nothing. I mean nothing. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. Like, don't give it to me. Like, no. I don't want it. And it's like, it's so funny because, like, oh, why is my credit score this and that? The credit score in America helps you get an apartment, helps you get a car. It helps you with a lot of stuff. Hopefully you, if you don't have anywhere to start you with there's student credit cards. They typically, personally, do have a lot of higher APR rates, but they do help you, walk you, and give you assistance with understanding credit scores. Not every school system, not every high school, middle school, whatever, express to you what credits, like what's loans and that all types of stuff. You just have to learn, but be mindful of these payback apps, Klarna, Affirm, all these credit card. Like, be mindful of these. Klarna is not that bad because you're just paying the money back, but in that same instance, if you had the money, you should just spend it then. You know what I'm saying? Because it just turns to you having to paying over time, and sometimes you forget, like, these subscription based services, when you just signing up for stuff. Be mindful where your money goes. Be financially literate. It may seem very complicated when you're starting out, but it takes you such a long way, which goes into number 11. Learn to be financially literate in some type of aspect, whether that means you need to go to the library and read. Please read. I think it's important that we all read at least one book per year, at least, minimum. But being financial literate helps you be more aware of your money, allow you to be able to do more fun things. If you are able to decipher and figure out, okay, I want to do this and this is how I can do it, it makes you more qualified and more capable to experiment with more things. Give yourself more experiences because you are mindful of your money. You are knowing what you can do, this and the third. You know where your money's going, or you don't know where. And if you don't know where your money's going, a lot of times you end up spending more than what you thought you did, because you think and what it is ain't always the same. Free tools that help at least getting your foot in the door. Nerd Wallet, Rocket Money. You'll see so many Rocket Money ads. It's actually a really nice tool. The only thing about these apps, and I think Credit Karma also does kind of do it, the only thing about these apps is you have to be mindful of, you are kind of giving your login to these apps. They only have a certain amount of information, but they do have enough information to where they do see your bank statements, so they can decipher where you are spending your money on. So it is a double-edged sword. I kind of do both. I do try to keep my bills, like a list of my bills and track of, okay, I've spent this amount of money, and that includes cash. Like, you know, a lot of people like, oh, well, if I spend cash, it don't count. No, it counts. It's still your money. You just cashed it out of the bank. It's still subtracted from the total. Yeah. 12, let's hang out soon means we not gonna hang out. There's a lot of people like, we should hang soon, and you know good and well when you say that, you really don't mean it. And it's not that you don't mean it, it's that like, it's like, okay, you know, I'm making my goal to hang with this person, but like, I'm not gonna prioritize it. It's really like how it's looked. And there's nothing wrong with that, like saying that you're gonna hang out with somebody soon, or we should hang out soon. In reality, what really happens is a lot of life changes, fluctuates. You get a new job, you get like, a lot of things in your life do change, so it is really hard to focus on that sole moment when there's so much going on around you individually. So it's not necessarily like a negative connotation to say like, oh, they don't really mean it, but it's more so like, it just doesn't typically happen. Like me and my best friend, typically when we hang because I come down home, because she doesn't have the time to come up here. Like realistically, we're both in school, we both have jobs, we both got families, we both got stuff going on, and it's like, girl, I ain't gonna hold you, us hanging last thing on my mind. Like, trust, like, I get it. Which is why, like, when we say we gonna hang out soon, realistically, we gonna hang out, but it's not gonna be soon. It's not gonna be soon. Like, we're gonna be a couple of, like, and you'll be surprised how time goes by so fast. But it might be some months. Realistically, it's gonna be some months. Like, which is why I think for me, what I've been doing is like, I try to look for events like, oh, we should go to this, or like I'll send a bunch of TikToks like, oh, we should do this, we should do this. So eventually we can eventually do it. Yeah. If I send more, that means we'll have a higher probability. We'll have a higher probability of doing something rather than nothing at all, because I'm still keeping in contact. As long as you keep in contact, I feel like that's all that matters. What's next? No 12. And if y'all get it, y'all get it. If y'all don't, you don't. Because I understand. Because like, I don't really have a big group of friends, but I do have a group of homies that we did go to DreamCon with. So my number 12 is group chat slowly die. Unintentionally, no explanation. You don't know. People will just start leaving, and it's like sometimes the crew's still cool. The group is still cool individually, but it's like some people's like, oh yeah, I'm not talking to this and the third. And it's like, okay. And it's like, there's no real reason why I died. It just died. Like, you can't force nobody to chat. Or some people just, they kind of responders versus like initiators, and I'm always been an initiator, but right now I'm in my just respond era. Barely in my respond era, because I'm one of those people, like, I try to text my family once a week, be like, hey, I hope you're having a good week, and I've been struggling to do that. I barely didn't want to get out of bed. Like, sometimes you just got weeks where you're just productive, and sometimes you're just gonna have months where you're not. Trust, I get it. Number 13, you need 3 to 5 business days to recharge yourself socially. For me personally, I live with myself. I live the comfort of my own home, and I go out and I'm like, ooh, it's a lot of people. I'm talking about, whether that be, and it ain't gotta be social, whether that be like, that ain't gotta be social, like as in activity wise. I mean career fair, I mean job, I mean, they all include 3 to 5 business days. It's a lot. Sometimes I be looking at the imaginary cameras in real life and like, oh, this is real life. Oh, we're for real right now. And it's like, we are dead serious. Somebody please come get me. But there's nobody to save me, because these folks be serious. They be looking me in my eyes and be like, oh yeah, I'm looking for this and that. This is a retail store. We don't sell that. And a simple Google search could tell you we don't search. Okay. Yeah. Let me see. What's next? Number 14. Oh, this is like not funny, but this is funny to me. You realize water low-key does solve majority of your problems. Like the way that Like water and eating right really do solve your problem. Like eating fruit, like yo, folks used to give you snacks if your folks gave you snacks. But that really does solve your problems, especially when you don't eat, like you live by yourself now, or like you don't have somebody to cook for you in general. It's like, oh, I'm tired. Okay, drink some water. Okay, it actually does help. Oh, I'm tired. Take a nap. Oh, that actually does help. Getting proper sleep. Taking a shower, making sure your hygiene is up to par. Combing your hair because, you know, and washing your hair as frequently when you should, because it does get bacteria and stuff in. And if you're sick, cleaning your sheets. I feel like a lot of people don't clean their sheets as much as they probably should, but I really literally, if I have been dirty in my sheets or had any outside clothes unintentionally from being passed out, yeah, it's in that washer the next day. I do not play that, especially when you're sick. Making sure to be mindful of like, okay, yeah, you may have Lysol, but you wash them. There really is a difference. Like if you're able to wash it, please. I beg you, wash it, please. What's next? Sorry, I'm kind of skipping through these, but like I'm not. Number 14, you get excited about staying home. Oh my gosh, when I have a week where I don't have to do anything, I'm not gonna hold you. It'd be like, hi Kevin. Sometimes I be like, overall, I really don't go out very often, but when I do, it's to go get something to eat and come back. Guilty, or like go to school and come back. Ain't gonna hold you, I am gonna eat my dog. But personally, it's so nice to stay in the, especially I think because I live by myself, it's so nice to just sit and just sit in silence. Or like if you've been out socializing all like for like the past few days, or you're required to for school or this and the third, and like your classes are busy or there's a lot of people in here, the capacity, oh my goodness, coming home and just, it'd be feeling nice. I know that sounds NPC like crazy, but just sometimes just sitting and hearing the vent run or hearing the fridge run, yeah. Sometimes you just be having those weeks and you don't realize how much quiet time can really give you a little boost of energy more than you realize, because I do. I've learned that very recently. Very recently. Number 15, plans after 8 p.m. just feel illegal. I ain't gonna hold you. When I be looking at it, it says 8, like 9 o'clock, the concert starting. Cause like, I've been to concerts. 9 p.m. start means 11:30, 12. I wanna be home. Like if it started 7:30, okay, I'm getting home about 10:30, 11. It started 10, 9? That's 11:30, 12. 1 a.m. actually. I don't know. And it's like, you know what it is? It's like, for me, now that I live in Dallas, for me, depending on where the concert is, whether or not it's in Fort Worth, downtown Dallas, that makes a difference in how long the commute is. So not only is it going to get out this time, I might have like a, depending on where I'm at, I can have between a 20 or 30 commute. And like typically I do really like driving at night, but if I'm not familiar with the area, it makes it more difficult for me to get to point A to point B. Like I'm good going to, no problem, because I'm hyped. Going back, yeah, I'll be driving in silence. I'll be driving with the music so loud I like hearing my thoughts, to where I'm just focused on the road. If you get it, you get it. You don't, you don't. Like, I don't explain it, but it's just one of those things I just be reconsidered. Like if it's at 8, that's cool. Like, if it started at 8, but anything, like if it's anything past that, I'm like, ooh, cause like you have to think, the concert, they might have a pre-show, like a headliner, and then the person who's before the headliner, and it's like, okay, that's 2 different people. Okay, that's at least like 2-3 hours, and it's like, okay, that's pushing it, and I want to go home. So it's just something I really consider. It's like, oh yeah, at least you're 20, you go out. Baby, I ain't never been a person to go out, so it don't make a difference between now and then, cause I do what I want, and it's always been like that, and I don't care to go to parties and do all that type of stuff personally. Number 16, saying no is a skill you need. Oh my goodness, let me tell you, I've been in a bunch of experiences, so where I should have said hell no, but I said no. I said yes, and I should have said budge no, but I didn't. But I should have though. And looking back, I should have said it 50,000 more times more aggressive. But I didn't. And it just turns into one of those things of like, you look back and it's like, why did I let this organization, or why did I let these people walk all over me? And you gotta stop doing it. And if you're a people pleaser, it gets 10 times worse in college, because it's like, oh yeah, I can do it the whole time. You have terrible management skills, and you don't realize you got this, and the third, and you speed walking to get to your next activity in your next class call time because you had a volunteer event at 20 minutes before your class started, or 5 minutes before your class started. Not the smartest idea, not the smartest thing to do. Number 17. I feel like it's self-explanatory once again. I'm not gonna go too much into detail, but I feel like it's very important to say failure is necessary. It's not embarrassing. I feel like oh, like I feel like I didn't pass this. Okay, it's great to struggle. Like, struggling shows that not everything will be easy for you, and if it was easy, then you wouldn't have a reason to be motivated to work harder. Truly, like I'm a very stronger believer in, like, you won't know what struggle is until you have to work hard, because everything will be easy to you. So when you get to something to where it's difficult, you're not going to want to do it. You're not going to have the motivation. You're going to feel like, oh, it's too difficult, it's out of reach. You don't want that mindset. You want the mindset of, okay, I've struggled with this and I can get past it. Simple as that. Like, that literally does transcend into all of your life, whether that's friendships, this and the third. Like, as long as you know that you put, even if you do struggle and you don't necessarily still get it, as long as you know you put your absolute best into that and your hardest, that's what it matters. Use all your resources, all that good stuff. Like, and when I mean, like, especially when it comes to classes and stuff, using all your resources, that you go to tutoring. Not just did you start doing your homework. Did you go to tutoring? Did you go to office hours? Did you go? And it means sometimes sacrificing other things to be able to do certain things. Like, okay, maybe you don't go to office hours because it puts you right before your other class. You don't have time to eat. Well, sometimes you gotta sacrifice. Okay, you failing. Sometimes you gotta sacrifice your meal. Maybe you need to revamp and to start bringing meals instead of trying to go get something to eat because you need to be at these office hours, and vice versa. Like, I just transcribe a lot of things to school because I am in school. So it just makes sense for me. It just makes sense for me. Number 17, your habits define your future. Oh my gosh, I do not have a consistent sleeping, waking up schedule. It's so hard. For the most part, my alarm just go off at 6:30. Do I get up at 6:30? No. Do I have 8 o'clock classes? Yes, I do. I regret it. Number 18, with that being said, don't do 8 o'clock classes. I don't care if you could do it in high school and you a morning bird and you a early bird. 8 o'clock when you live near campus, you gotta walk 15 minutes is way different. When you got 8 o'clock, you gotta be in the class. Like, it makes such a night and day difference. Like, 8 o'clock when you drive and getting dropped off versus 8 o'clock when you gotta be in the class. Walking is two different things, because the parking on this campus for me is just ridiculous. It's overpriced. Depending on what parking sticker, you can only park at certain parkings. So it's like, okay, I do all that walking, I still gotta walk. Like, oh my goodness, it's just, Number 19, being alone does not equal being lonely. Oh my gosh, I am somebody who loves my solitude. Like, I love my solitude. I love being by myself. I love treating myself. In comparison to other people in my life, it's like being alone or doing things by myself. Oh my gosh, it's just kidding. I love doing things by myself, and I feel like you should, to learn yourself, you should do things by yourself solo. That don't mean that you can't do things with like your friends. You gotta do anything crazy by yourself, but like going to the movies by yourself, going to the mall, like shopping, doing like quote unquote go to the restaurant by yourself. You don't gotta be nothing fancy, even McDonald's, but like showing that you can stand alone by yourself does give you a whole boost of confidence that you realize you either didn't or did have. Number 21, your career path will likely change multiple times. Oh my gosh, the amount of jobs that I have during school, like, if they're gonna hire me, I'm gonna go, and it's affordable, like, and it's reasonably priced in terms of my hour, I'm gonna switch, because I'm just the type of person. Hold on. Okay, we're back. I saw a gnat in my room, and I'm like overly conscious of these gnats because I did open my door today. And I feel like every time I open my door, they be popping in. But anytime my door is closed, they do not be coming in here. It scares the crap out of me. Like, I'm just so paranoid. And I'm talking about, I be cleaning my corners. Because, like, sometimes, you want to make sure you clean the dust, of course. But sometimes I be thinking of gnats. And I saw one flying and buzzing around. this is why I don't open the door, and then it's like, oh, you know, I literally have the little things that y'all be seeing right here. These are gnat traps. Like, these are like sticky fly nets to prevent them from, you know, pretty much to get them caught and stuck on there. I need to replace these. These have been in there for a little minute, but I need to replace with some new ones. But anyways, I was at, you know, what was I last? I think I was at 21, either 20 or 21. So I'll either be giving you 24 or 25. We'll see, depending on my brain. But I've been doing pretty good with my. I've been doing pretty good with my timing. Your habits literally do define your future. The way that I don't feel like I have a consistent sleep schedule, and it makes a difference in when I can get up or when I do, or like your habits in terms of, oh, when you get up and you get on your phone, don't be doing it. Or like when you get up and get on your phone the whole time, especially if you don't have like timers or self-regulations on a lot of these apps, you will not realize how much time really does fly by. Like I have my Instagram, TikTok, and my Tumblr. Guilty. I love Tumblr. Set for 2 hours per day. I be about to hit that limit before sometimes, depending on how lazy I am and I don't want to get out of bed, y'all, I be about to hit that limit before I get out of bed. Like, and like that's just me being honest. Like it does happen. It does. Guilty. It does. 22. Time moves faster than you really expect. Like I said, I was supposed to graduate 2 years ago, and now it's 2026 and I'm not there. Who would have ever thought I'd be in this position? Who would, me personally, past me would have never guessed that I'd be in an apartment by myself in the DFW area. And it's like, oh, well, you're in school. You do not know what I've gone through and what I went to be like, oh yeah, girl. Like you really doing your thing. That don't discredit how proud of myself I still am. I still got an associate's degree. I'm still working toward my bachelor's. I'm still qualified to be in a position in every room that I should be in. There's no room that I shouldn't be in because I don't deserve to be in there. None. There will never be a one because I'm qualified to be in any room that I set my foot in. Period. And make sure you do have that confidence for yourself. Truly. You know. Let's see. And I feel like I kind of touched this one, but 22, you'll outgrow people in places. You will, of course, have your friends that you grew up with from high school, elementary. If that relationship is not being pushed forward on both ends, there will see a strain. That don't mean that you don't love them, you don't appreciate them in any shape, way, less or more than you did previously. And maybe you do more because they are putting in effort, because you are having distance. You just do what's best for you, but at the same time, don't create unnecessary strife or implications saying that they should have did this, they shouldn't did this. And this goes to friendships, relationships, people in general. There will be times where you feel like they could have did more, but you don't know at the same time what circumstances they have been going, or maybe they thought you could have did more, but you had your own circumstances. So making sure, one, to make sure you give somebody the same grace that you give yourself, but also give yourself the same grace that you give somebody else. I feel like I can be a lot harder on myself than I am on sometimes others because I am aware of myself. But at the same time, if these people are in your life, they should be aware of you and vice versa. So it just happens. Life does happen. Just because you outgrow somebody does not mean that they don't like you, love you, or appreciate you any less or more. Like I said, it's just things happen, and sometimes people just do grow apart. That don't mean that you can't, if you want to, contact them and let them know, hey, I thought about you and I appreciate you. Now, if you have broken up, you need to give yourself some space to really move on from a relationship before you are able to start contacting each other once again. I feel like personally, 3 months minimum. I know y'all might eat me up for that. 3 months minimum. If y'all do see each other, if y'all meet your friends at the same shindig, same party, all that good stuff, but do not go out there contacting them when y'all broken up. Y'all need to give each other proper space to heal, grow, do your own personal self-sufficient thing before you start contacting somebody that you know you don't want to be self-sufficient with. Just saying. Number 23 is, I don't know, let me see. Oh, saving money matters more than just flexing it. Saving money early matters more than flexing in the moment. I know that like even for me, I have a habit of like, oh, I got the money, if I buy it now. But like realistically, it's more important for me to save the money, and I can probably find a better deal. I buy off of eBay. I don't buy anything on actual like proper sites. I buy eBay like secondhand refurbished, which is a lot cheaper and a lot more like saving wise. But at the same time, I feel like there was a point where I was just unreasonably just purchasing stuff that I did not need because I thought I needed it. Being mindful, like I said, this goes all like it's a very big circle of like making sure you are aware of your finances and be more financial and like be financially literate with your money, honestly. And then 24, lastly, and most importantly, living on your own does get lonely. I know that a lot of people are like, oh, da da da. Like as somebody who stays saying, I can't wait to move out. Oh, I can't wait. I moved out, and I'm a lot more lonely than I expected. And it goes into a lot of factors. I have friends, but I don't have like I have people that I know out here, but I really don't consider myself having friends out here. And it makes it kind of difficult because it's like I can be friendly with people, but it's like I don't have anybody that can be like, hey girl, or hey Pookie, can you come over and like we just chill and sit in silence. That's a different type of relationship that you have to build with people. Or even more so, if I'm not feeling my best, I have, and it's not that I do it on purpose, but because I don't know you that well, I don't feel comfortable showing my maybe less higher vibration persona, rather than me being depressed in this particular moment. Like there's reasons that you maybe show certain versions of yourself because maybe you don't want that person to know all of you, or you're not ready for them to see that part of you. And I feel like especially when you do live alone, it does teach you to learn to be alone and have a sort of solitude. Like I'm very much solitude, but now that I have a full space for myself, I love solitude, but now I don't have anywhere where I can just go home, or like home isn't as readily available to me, rather than me being able to just go outside and walk out and go by my mama versus, oh, she comes home at 7. I don't see my folks till like almost 2 months. Or of course you can go visit them frequently, but realistically with school, work, and other objectives that you may have, it's just not realistic anymore. So I think that it's something to like make sure it does allow you to indulge and create new hobbies, and more than anything, have a secure, safe space for yourself, but also making sure to remind yourself to put yourself out there and, you know, create an environment for yourself. If you don't create, like, the part of creating community is also being there for somebody, but also reaching out when it is needed. But that has been 24 things with me that I wish I knew before I turned 24. And I feel like these were very somewhat generic. I feel like I kind of did my own personal spin on them. But if you like the video, make sure you subscribe and follow and turn on for notice if y'all want to see me more. But if no one told you they're proud of you, I'm proud of you. If no one told you like they love you, I love you. Most importantly, stay brilliant, be safe, watch your surroundings because these folks is crazy. All right, feel my heart. Thank you.